Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to week 3 of my weekly live streams. I don't know who's here, but if you are here, make yourself known in the chat because I want to see who's here. And welcome back to the live stream. I have a group chat on my Instagram profile. So if you check that out and you want to get weekly updates on when I'm uploading and weekly updates on when the stream might change, from Wednesday to Thursday or whatever, make sure to go follow me on Instagram and to join that chat to get updated. And as well, if you see here, you can call in live with any questions you might have, with any information that you think is interesting for the live. And of course, you will be live when you call in, just so you know. So today we are going to go through my new camera cage that I got because it arrived last week, the features that it has, why it's better than the other one, and just what's cool about it because I find it cool to talk about. Then we are talking about my new GoPro Action 4. Is it good? GoPro ideas, and what kind of things that we can do with the GoPro going forward, different ideas, because at the minute I'm just mounting it to things and I want to see what else we could use and what we can do. Another thing as well is just a side note, I've added another light here just to add a bit of fill light on this side because I feel like with the other ones it's so dark on this side and you just see a face, but now we've got a bit of fill light, so hopefully this looks a little bit better. Oh, and another big thing that we're talking about, huge story in the film industry this week, which is the Netflix and Warner Brothers buyout and what's happening with that. Is it good for cinema? Where this, if it does happen, if this is going to be big news, if this is going to be a good change or a bad change for cinema and where the future of cinema is heading. Okay, right, let's start with new camera cage. As you can see, this is the camera cage for the Pixis 6K, obviously, but this is the cage from Tilta, and as you can see, my other one was you saw from the previous stream, it was so bulky, it was really heavy and too bulky for what I was doing, and it wasn't very versatile. But this cage is really versatile so far. As you can see, it's a blend between a light rig and a slightly heavier rig. So what I mean by that is it's got a bottom plate here and it's got a top plate here. But what most importantly about this is two things. One, you can add the Blackmagic top handle onto the cage, which for me was really important to be able to have that proper top handle for it, and also the ribs. Hold on, let me try and I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's basically what I mean is these ribs on the side here, right? And these ribs on the left hand and the right hand side are just a nice little mounting options. You've got the Arri rosette plate that you can mount there. Not that I need it because I've got the other base plate for it. Another thing I really like about this is that previously I had the 2 terabyte SSD on this side and I couldn't access this screen. Didn't really play around with the buttons. But now I can put the SSD, as you can see, this is so hard to show you. You can put the SSD in this little side plate on the Pixis now, so it's completely hidden away. Got a small little cable going down the side of it, but I can literally click this button at the top here and I can slide that SSD out. So it's hidden away within the cage itself and it's easy to access, unlike that really awkward bulky SSD on the side that I had previously. And with this cage, being able to access these buttons is so much easier. Being able to just quickly click white balance instead of having to rely on this top monitor, and changing the settings like that. Now I can just click white balance using the little dial. Where are we? Little dial there, and just being able to access those settings a little bit quicker. So far, I am much preferring this cage over the previous one. Just because the previous one was really bulky, you couldn't access those buttons very well. But now, this cage is much better for that. And so far, I'm liking it a lot. So yeah, if you are looking for a Pixis cage, I recommend the Tilta one. I got it on the Black Friday deal. I think it was like £90. I recommend that one over the Excelsius one, or the small rig one. When I was doing my research for the small rig one, it looked rubbish. It really did. It might be cheaper, but it just looked rubbish. I think all it had was a top and bottom plate and the just really rubbish side handles, I think. Either way, I didn't like it. Perfect cage so far. Okay, what next? GoPro. The other thing that I got was this GoPro here. I'm going to keep it on the large screen, right? This is the GoPro Action 4. So high frame rates, 120 frames 4K, I think. Not that I haven't used it. I'd love to own a Pixis one day, but at the moment my budget is more geared to the Pocket 6K. Okay, that is... look, to be honest with you, the Pixis 6K right now is extremely affordable and a great deal for the price that it's at, because of the 12K that's released. In my opinion, hi Jared, I'm on train, signal bad. It's all right, Tom. Don't worry. Going back to your thing about the Pocket 6K Pro, for me, when shooting with the Pixis, and then I go back to the 6K Pro, I don't know if you're talking about the Pocket 6K or the 6K Pro, but the Pixis is much better. So, I mean, don't know if you're looking for my recommendation, but maybe if you're literally just starting, get the Pocket 6K and go for it. Learn the camera, learn how to shoot with it. But the only reason I'm saying this is because I bought I bought some cameras and then I ended up selling them because I just quickly upgraded really quickly. And looking back now, I wish that I sort of saved that money instead of getting a bunch of different cameras, is just waiting and saving and just getting like the really good camera that will be future proof. And I think for the price tag of the Pixis, and you can get one second hand for even cheaper, I think it's a really good value for money, and I think there is future proof in that. The full frame sensor, I do recommend getting the monitor as well with it. Hold on. Getting the monitor for it, but then the Pixis 6K helps you learn the roots of a proper cinema camera. You know, SDI ports, SDI protocol, the box style of the camera body, so you have to rig it up and things like that. But the Pocket 6K isn't quite like that. So not that you were asking for my opinion, but it's all dependent on what you're looking to shoot. But if you're first starting off, I think the Pocket 6K with a decent lens is extremely cheap right now, so go for it, and I wish you the best of luck. Can you show us the Pixis? I'm unsure what this is. Okay, this is the Pixis, with a tilter cage on it. This is the Pixis camera. It is Blackmagic's first box style affordable camera. It's basically a mix between their pocket cameras and their Ursa cameras. Okay, right, now I already own a Pixis 6K. Oh, Pocket 6K. I didn't do a lot of thinking when I bought it years ago. I'm hoping to finally get my first short film off the ground next year. Still be several months. I'm not saying that the Pocket 6K is bad at all. It's a fantastic camera, and you haven't done anything wrong or lack of research. That's not what I'm implying. I'm just saying that the Pixis, it just gives you a bit more variety with that full frame sensor. Learning a cinema camera, and I started with the Pocket 4K. I got the Pocket 4K 6K Pro, and then I got the Pixis. So I've done exactly what you've done. I bought the original Pocket 4K. I was getting more work, better clients, so I went to the Pocket 6K Pro, and I'm sure that you will do the same. You start off with that camera, and then eventually, a few years' time, the Pixel 6K will be so cheap secondhand. Trust me. I do appreciate your insight, though. Yeah, I'm just trying to. We're all on this same journey, and the Pocket 6K is a great camera to start with. It's very versatile. So yeah, don't stress it. You're on the right path. It seems like you're doing the right thing. Okay, right. Back to the Action 4 GoPro. Really cool. I've been having so much fun with this. I've almost found a new love of shooting behind the scenes footage. Now, hold on. I did get the SmallRig cage with it, which I think is really useful because I can now mount it on the thread there, and then create more social format videos. And then what you do, you just unclip it, and hold on. And there you go. Super duper cool little camera. And then you've got its little cage. Little cage like that. Put it in. Okay, I think that's clipped. Yeah. Super duper cool. I'm going to show you some footage now of what I've been doing behind the scenes with this pocket camera. Oh, and it's also got, you can also mount the Rode Go mics, GoPros. You can mount it on the shoe mount at the top there. So if you do want to do, behind the scenes and actually talk to camera, you can plug in some really good audio for this camera, which I think I haven't tried it yet, but I think that's really cool. And let me actually, so I've got this magic arm for the GoPro, and let me show you what I've been doing. So actually, hold on, right. Should load. So this is the kind of stuff I've been doing with the GoPro, is this really cool, like mounting it using this magic arm and doing, extending the magic arm, mounting it onto the camera, and just getting this really cool behind the scenes look on how certain things are made. And I think that clients really appreciate this kind of, to give them an insight when they see this, just give them an insight of what to expect. They can see that there's a somewhat big camera on display. They can exposure difference, but they should see the monitor and what you're doing. But yeah, I think it's really cool having this little mount here and having that GoPro 4 behind the scenes. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So other stuff as well I've been doing. So you can see there's a little bit more movement, right? You can see it's like a snore cam. I hope I'm not too loud. I can see that the mic is peaking ever so slightly, so please let me know if the mic is peaking, and I can just bring that audio level down. But cool, cool little rig setup I got there. But there's loads of, you can mount it onto a lens. This isn't quite mounted onto the lens, but it's mounted onto the side of the camera, and you can sort of showcase different lenses and what different lenses do. Yeah, you can do it on the monitor. Volume good. Thank you, Tom. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There you go. Just bring that down a bit. But yeah, you can sort of show the monitor behind the scenes, rigging it. Yeah, really cool. Let me find a good one. Yeah, this is, again, not so... Hold on. There we go. Not so much social format, but this is more, behind the scenes in general, and just being able to see. I think that's really cool. Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny. Okay. Oh, and what else I did with it was... so I'm doing a construction job currently, And by using this little mount here, I wouldn't even call it a mount, I'd call it, yeah, I guess mount. This little magic clamp is what I would call it, really. Is this, with this clamp, is just attach it to these construction tools and just getting a different look, a different perspective and a different shot for the client. So yeah, this is the kind of cool stuff we've been doing. There's a bit in a minute where the brick, oh maybe not, no maybe not. Yeah, so this kind of stuff here. You know, having that snore cam and just having this object in the middle locked whilst everything around is moving. This kind of stuff I think is great for that GoPro. So the Action 4, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 120 frames 4K. So far, the low light capabilities is not great, but again, I got it Black Friday deal. It was £100, so not that much. You know, that's not too bad. But yeah, not good at low light. I was expecting maybe a little bit more, but it's got ultra wide, wide, and normal. And I think this is on wide, not ultra wide. Do I pick it up, or is that the end of the clip? Oh, it's the end of the clip. But so far, when it's during the day and there's plenty of light coming in, this GoPro is so far just so much fun to play with. Yeah. The only thing is though with this GoPro is that I'm trying to think of different ways to use it, because I don't want to just use it in the same way, which is just continuously mounting it onto things, you know, onto the camera and onto the shovel. I'm looking at ways to, you know, do something a bit different, but I just don't know what that is. There was another one. Oh yeah. There was another one I want to show you. Where are we? Yeah, this one. I put it on my story, but I just thought, again, really cool. You know, having quick cuts maybe with the tools, having them lined in the middle, you know, frame them up so they're in the middle, and just having quick cuts. You know, the hammer hits the wall, you cut to this. Then as soon as this rips the plaster off, you cut to the shovel. You know, you have these quick match cuts. And already, there you go, you've got this really... You've made... What I'm trying to say is that you've made construction interesting by using this GoPro and thinking of ways to be inventive with cameras. It's not just about having the best cameras, it's about having the best ideas. Right, enough of that. Moving on. So, it arrived today, and it's something that's really hard to show on the stream, but iFootage, a company called iFootage, sent me this stand, and I don't even know whether to call it a light stand or a mic stand, but I've actually got the tube light attached to it now, but I'm going to show you the stand that I got sent today, and it will be featured in a sponsored video later next year, hopefully. Right, just bear with me, I've got to get... Right. Oh, God. Right, hold on. Let me switch back to full screen. Okay. Right, so this is the tube light, right, which this was mounted onto. So I'm going to put that over there for now. I'm going to show you this. So it's this... Oh, so it's this stand here, right? And it's not like a normal light stand where you know, has the legs open. It has this base here. Oh, I've got to be careful. So it has this long circular base. Oh, it's really hard to show. Hold on. Yeah, it's got this heavy circular base. So basically, you can put... Oh, that was really hard to show on stream. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So you saw it, right? So basically it has this circular base at the bottom, and it's weighted down. So you can put lights and things on it still, but it allows you to put the light into corners that you couldn't do otherwise with larger light stands that have the legs open at the bottom. But yeah, I got sent that by a company called iFootage, but I will talk about it properly. It's quite hard to show on stream, but I'll talk about it properly in another video as part of a sponsored section. And it's straight, so you know it's not like a C-stand or anything like that. Yeah, it'll be better once I show you in the proper video. It's hard to show you now. Okay, right. Moving on to the Netflix and what's happening here. Huge story, not only in the cinema space or the entertainment space. I think a lot of people were talking about this because it's almost asking the question, is this the beginning of the slow death of cinema, where cinema is going to be a very rare occurrence? I think it's very interesting because from Netflix's point of view, the numbers don't lie, right? The cinema numbers are going down, and the amount of Netflix subscriptions and the amount of watch hours and the amount of viewership that they're getting from, you know, films like Frankenstein, films like Steve. What else did they do? Netflix have they've done a ton of films that have a very short cinema window. They have all that data, and there is a reason why they've obviously looked at this data and been like, and they've looked at the data of Warner Brothers and been like, look, cinema numbers are down. You guys are dropping down, because people aren't going to the cinema anymore. We want to buy everything that you own, and Warner Brothers own a lot. They own a lot. I didn't realise how much Warner Brothers really own. So this is interesting, and I hear people say, oh, this is bad, this can't, and I agree to a certain extent, but at the same time, the numbers don't lie. You can't sort of blame Netflix for wanting to do this, and you can't blame Warner Brothers for wanting to do this either, because people don't go to the cinema as nearly as much. And the prices are expensive. Most films aren't really that good. I think that's another problem, is that people don't really want to risk spending £16 on a film that they think is pretty, is bad. So I do understand it, and I don't think people have a lot of free time anymore like they used to, because everything is so quick. So, yeah, it's really interesting. So, more choice, greater value for consumers. Is it? I don't think so. I think more choice. I think Netflix will have more choice, definitely. I saw that the Harry Potters are leaving, so they probably looked at their contracts and was like, well, it's probably cheaper to just buy Warner Brothers. Not cheaper, but you know what I mean. A stronger entertainment industry. Is it? Because you're eliminating competition. This is Netflix's official site, so it's not, they're not going to be that truthful on their own website. More value for shareholders. Yeah, I don't know. At the same, I'm not going to lie to you. I really enjoy watching films at home. Obviously, I love going to the cinema, but I do find myself staying at home, watching a film in the comfort of my own home. Not so much the TV shows, but films. But then you lose that experience of being in the cinema and, completely escaping. And maybe shorter windows within cinema, having that shorter window might be a good thing, because it might have more urgency, and it's more exclusive to be like, oh, I saw it at the cinema. Oh, you saw it at the cinema? That's, it only had a week. It was so hard to get tickets. So then the prices might go up, almost like a concert for a Coldplay or something. The tickets are rare to go see that. Like a Hans Zimmer concert. It's not a regular thing. Is this the death of cinema? I don't think cinema will die in our lifetime or ever. I think people still, those cinema screens exist, the real estate exists. So seeing them on the big screen and seeing films on the big screen and seeing stories on the big screen will be... Oh, hey, my dog. Right, boom. I'm going up. Up. I can't say that. Okay. Okay, moving on. Boys, who here is a big fan of The Boys? I am, and they recently released their teaser trailer for season 5. Looks really cool. It looks more serious than the previous. There is some jokes in there, but it seems like the stakes for this season are higher than the previous one. There's less jokes, it's more serious, and in all honesty, I'm glad to see this show coming to an end, because it needs to end, otherwise it's got the risk of just becoming not great. Season 4, I felt like was the weakest of the other seasons. It was nothing but build up to this season. Season 1, 2 and 3 are absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen The Boys, I highly recommend to go watch The Boys, because it is a great show. Complete satire on the I think this is a good segue actually from Netflix buying Warner Brothers to then this, because this is just satire on the entertainment industry in general, and superhero films and how that dominated early on. I think cinema is going to be treated more as a novelty than it is standard. Yeah, you might be right. Will you still go? Yeah. Are we just going to see cinema films go straight to the Netflix screens? Which, I feel like the rare films, or the films that they have high confidence in, the crowd pleasers, they will be at the cinema. But what have they got really to lose, knowing that? But then, will people go to the cinema knowing that it's going to be on their Netflix subscription in 2 weeks? I know I wouldn't, I would rather wait. So yeah, I mean, this looks so... I really hope that this season we see Homelander, because it's been building and building and building, and I hope we see Zoolander. I hope we see Homelander just snap and just do something crazy. Like, the stakes need to be... I think the stakes are already quite high, but having Homelander snap and having those stakes incredibly high, I think how this is going to end is he's going to lose all his powers at the end. So Homelander's not going to die as a villain. He's going to be human, and he's going to experience, because I think that's worse of a fate for someone like Homelander, to have all of his powers stripped from him. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's released on streaming and the theatres at the same time, and it did well, and it wasn't even that good of a movie. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I did not know that. What you're saying, and it did well. Well, it's a horror film, I feel like horror films always do quite well. And also Five Nights at Freddy's was extremely popular. So it's... Oh, we're getting our first caller of the stream. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Hello, Jared. I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good.
I've got a couple of thoughts, if that's okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I'm going to point you slightly to the mic a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. Apologies, I know you segued onto The Boys. I'll touch on that in a minute. Just on the Netflix page.
Yeah. Go.
It's really interesting. I actually watched Ballad of a Small Player recently at VFI IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
Which actually came out on Netflix a couple of weeks after I watched that.
Oh, yeah.
It actually kind of soured the experience a little bit.
What do you mean soured what, going to the IMAX? It soured the
In the
experience.
sense of it was quite an expensive ticket,
Yeah.
and knowing I could just go home and watch
Yeah.
it for free, it almost made me think, well, why would I bother?
Yeah.
I appreciate it's definitely a novelty, but I think this is a sad day for film. I'd love to get your thoughts.
So, was it a good film?
Subjectively, no.
No. So that's the tough thing is like, are people really willing to risk spending that amount of money on an IMAX film? I think things like Oppenheimer's different because people knew that it was going to be like an event film, it was going to be a big film. But the film that you just said, it's like you've spent this amount of money on an IMAX ticket. You've paid money to go all the way into London, got food and things like that, and it's a whole like night out, right? It's a whole experience. But then it comes out. It's going to come out on Netflix in like a couple of weeks. So I know what you mean. It's almost like it's not exclusive to you because people are just going to watch it. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I would also just say on that as well. I've loved films, grown up with films. I just think and you saw Paramount also do a counter bit as well. I mean, what does this say about the film industry? It's always there's always been money, but it almost feels like this is now money is the primary motivator, rather than the film experience.
No, I agree. It's like max appealing to like the biggest amount of people. That's what Disney have been doing, is just trying to appeal to like the most amount of people as possible, instead of taking risks on more indie films. And also, our Netflix subscriptions are going to shoot up. I think they're going to be really expensive, but then they're offering so much content. It's just one of those things where you don't really know what they're going to do, and it's almost like too much power. Like Netflix has too much monopoly over the entertainment industry and films.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? They could just, if they wanted to, they could just do nothing but, crowd pleasers that shift people's, shifts people's opinions on things, and it's weird. It's almost like Netflix shouldn't have so much content. There's no competition, there's no diversity. No,
I completely agree, and I'll just say as well. I'm going to shoot in a minute. I think The Boys is incredibly overrated. I think it was definitely something that started quite unique. And then they sort of lost their way about trying to be too edgy as a show. So I'm kind of hoping season 5 brings it back to the core principles of what they were trying to do initially. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I thought season 1 and 2, and I thought they were really good personally. But I do get where you're coming from in terms of they knew that the big conversation pieces was the most shocking stuff. They knew that it became a little bit too slapstick. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from.
Agreed. Jared, I've got to shoot, mate. I just want to let yourself and the viewers know. I've just paid £5 for a train ticket, and the barrier's already up. So I've just lost the £5. So
right.
I'm off, mate, with a bad mood. You take care.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Tom is right. We'll see where it goes. It's like AI. It's really hard to sort of predict where it's going to go. I'm not sure if it's even happened. If this has even happened, the buyout, to be honest, and I don't know if it is going to happen, or is it just? Can someone let me know if it's like confirmed, or it's just up in the air right now, and it's like a strong decision that's going to be made. Don't know. Anyway, Boys season 5. When does it release? When is the release date? Do we have a release date? Prime Video. It's just a teaser, so I don't think that they have... Oh my goodness. No. Oh. April 8th. Ages away. That is so far away. So we have ages. Okay. We need to move on. Okay. How long have we been going for? 34 minutes. Okay. I saw this poster, and I put it on my Instagram story. I thought it just looks really cool, and I want to see more films like this. Again, it's just a poster. I'm aware of that. I know that. But 2 incredible actors. The way it's styled is just looks really cool. You know, I think it's set in it looks like it's set in the early 90s, right? By what they're wearing and the colour grade of the photo, and it looks like it's one of those Insta film captures. So yeah, it caught my eye. I thought it looked really cool. It tells a story. Robert Pattinson's character is, shocked. She's, got the engagement ring. She's all happy. So it tells a story. I just thought it was really cool, and I think it's going to appeal to people, because I know this year so many people have got engaged. So I think it's going to appeal to those 25, 28-year-olds, seeing these young people, these two huge stars, getting married by the looks of it. But it looks really cool, and I know it's just a poster, but I'm excited to see what this film is. On my radar, is what I'm trying to say. It's on my radar, and I'm excited to see what happens with it. Yes, the director, I looked briefly at the director. Where are we? Oh, so this is the film. This is the director, and I went on his page, and he's from Norway. Yeah, Norway. Sick of myself, dream scenario. No, I looked at no films that I have heard of. You got upcoming drama, but previous I haven't heard of any of these, and I have a feeling that they are Norwegian films. More importantly, I was interested in the cinematographer. I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names. I apologise. So that's the director, and the cinematographer is from New York, or based in New York. Yeah, it looks like a cool dude. Upcoming, the drama, it's in post-production currently, so it looks like they've finished filming. But again, the cinematographer, looks like he did a music video for Travis Scott. Mercedes-Benz in her shoes. It looks like he's done commercial work and music videos. But yeah, this film is on my radar, and the cinematographer is on my radar. I want to see how it looks, and I hope that this film is better than the film with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. I thought that film was just a little bit. The trailers made it look really cool, and I was excited to see these two big actors share the screen. But the film and the script was it didn't do anything for me. So I hope it's better than that, and I hope it's got more drama. It's called the drama, so I hope it's got some strong drama in it. I just hope the script is better, and I think if Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, both those actors, sign on to it, I think that's a good sign that the script is really good, and it's a good sign that the director pitched it well for them to sign on to that film. There's another film as well, Robert Pattinson with one from Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence. That film looks really cool. I think it's like where she goes crazy. That looks really cool, and that's on my radar. But I think that looked more like a thriller. I'm more excited for this one, personally. Simply because of this cool poster. Where are we? Oh. Yeah. Cool. It's like, I love how it's like really grainy and really like that colour. That looks like the early 90s to me, or the mid 90s. Screenplay. So the director actually wrote. So it's teaser poster, and the screenplay was written, and then he directed it as well. Oh, Ari Aster is producer, that's cool. Which does make sense. Robert Pattinson signing on because he did The Lighthouse. That's cool. Zendaya. Yeah. Okay. How long are we going for? Okay. I'm going to end it in 10 minutes-ish. Last thing then I'm going to wrap up with for this week's stream is I recently bought a drone. I'm testing it out this weekend. I'm going to take my dog for a walk, and I'm going to fly it in the woods, obviously away from everyone. But I was looking at the rules and regulations that's happening in the UK, I got the DJI Mini 4K drone, and yeah, things are changing. The regulations are changing, and they come into force on the 1st of January, so literally the beginning of 2026. This page shows the rules that apply. I always get really iffy about these kind of third-party websites, because it's almost like, are they just trying to get money from people? You know, like, do I really need this? Almost like a TV license. It's like, are you just trying to scam money? Not scam. Yeah, scam money. Why not? Pass the theory test to get a flyer ID. Yeah, this is... I don't like this. Make sure that you know how to fly safely and legally. Register with CEA for an operator ID. It's just... I really hope this isn't long, and I hope that this is quite quick. Check that you meet the age requirements. Work out what IDs you need. For the weight of the drone, model aircraft you will fly, the requirements. So what I also noticed was on the box of the drone was it's 249 grams. So, and I think the limit is 250. So they've literally made it 1 gram less to avoid that regulation, which I think is a big middle finger to whoever made that regulation. There are specific rules if you're under... I mean, if you are under 18... or especially if you're under 13, I would somewhat understand that, because you're young and you can make mistakes when you're that age. But I feel like if you're my age, 27, and you're actually you're in the industry and you're shooting for a client, it's almost like I know, like I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be sensible, knowing the code. You need to. Do I really need to do another theory? Just to fly a tiny little 4K drone twice a year. Choose a service to get your ID you need. Register for an ID. Test to get fly. Take the test to get a flyer ID. Register operator ID only. Get a flyer ID if you're under 13. Work out if you need based on the weight of the drone. Maybe I don't need 250 grams to less than 25 kg. Blimey, 25 kg. Who's flying a drone that's 25 kg, including UK 1, UK 2, UK... I didn't know that there was different UKs. Why is there UK 1, UK 2? If your drone model aircraft weighs from 200 or to less than... You must... 100 gram to less than 215 kg. If your drone or model aircraft weighs 100 grams to less than... You must get a flyer ID. I still need to get one. If your drone model aircraft and has a camera, you must also get an operator ID. So I need to get an operator ID because it has a camera. Brilliant. If it does not have a camera, okay, fine. That's annoying. But I guess at least with this system is that if someone was to ever question you or start beefing you out, you could just show them this ID and be like, look, I'm licensed. I'm fully licensed. And you could, with your ID, you could even get like a printout on the laws. Look, it's a I don't know the laws. I need to do more research than this. But being able to, bring out all this physical paperwork and be like, look, here's the laws. Here's my operator ID. Leave me alone. Everything I'm doing the legal way. Then maybe this is a benefit. Maybe this is a good thing and worth doing. It's just annoying and long, and it's just another form of ID. It's another theory test I need to take. I just feel like there's a lot of paperwork going on. Okay, that's really that's maybe we end it a little bit earlier today, because that's all I've got time for. Or all I've got to talk about. Is there anything else? Yeah, drone laws changing, boys try. Yeah, that's it really, guys. Yeah. So, to recap, Warner Brothers, Netflix buying Warner Brothers. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Time will tell. I will do a video on this light. I don't even know to call it a light stand or it's just a pole, but it's a really cool pole. It just weighted at the bottom. But I will do it will be a sponsored not a whole video, because I feel like there's not enough content for just a stand. But it will be possibly, it will be next year, but I will do a whole demonstration on this stand. But thank you to iFootage for sending me that. And Action 4, if anyone's got any questions about the GoPro Action 4 and the cage and how I mount it and how I shoot BTS, do let me know, and I will do my best to answer it. And I will, if you want to know what clamps and what links to use for Amazon, I will put them in the link in the description below, as well as the cage for the Pixis 6K, and having, so if you do want to get that as well, I will link it in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching once again. I think I will do the stream next week, Wednesday, as normal. If not, I might change it, but like I said at the beginning, join my Instagram, join the chat that's on my Instagram profile, where I keep people up to date with these weekly live streams and what we're going to be talking about and what time I'm streaming within that week. So obviously schedules change and I might be shooting on Wednesday. I am shooting on Wednesday, but I think I finish a decent amount of time to get home in time for 7. So I will let people know. That's it. I'm going to wrap up because I'm waffling now. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you again, and I will see you shortly. Thanks.